All right. Just while we have people filing in the room, so to speak, we're gonna go just where you're from, or where are you dialing in from? I'm in the Atlanta area, Johns Creek. Sherry, where are you dialing in from?
Louisville, Kentucky.
How about it, Murph?
I'm from Moore, Oklahoma.
Vanessa?
West Palm Beach, Florida.
Susan?
Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
And Kimberly?
From Tampa, Florida, but I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Oh, that's funny. How about that? So we've got the Southeast pretty well covered, some presence in the Northeast, and then always got to have the that Western reach there with Mr. Murph. So my name is Gary DeHart, and again, thank you all for being here. Gary DeHart, publisher of Insightful Accountant and Tax Practice News, and just want to say thank you to everybody for showing up, taking some time out of your day to just to hear from our top 100 and up-and-coming participants here who we have on the screen with us. So be myself and Murph kind of hosting, and then our guest answering some real specific questions. Before we get started, I do have a couple of housekeeping items. And so we are offering CPE, and the CPE, just like any other time, you need to answer the poll questions, and you need to be here for at least 50 minutes. The recording will be made available on our YouTube channel, and we will send you the link to that channel in the follow-up, which you will receive in about 24 hours. Same thing with the CPE. If you do qualify for CPE, we will send you an email asking you to complete the survey, then we'll send you the certificate. Murph, I think everybody knows him. His real name is William Murphy, but I think everybody knows him as Murph. He leads our most of our technical content for Insightful Accountants, been with us since day one, and writes about 250 articles a year. And he really administers the Top 100 program, which we'll be discussing a lot today, again, with some of our participants, including our ProAdvisor of the Year this year, Vanessa Vasquez. So Murph, turn it over to you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Gary. I do have a lot of content to cover today, and so I just want to start through and introduce our guests that are here. And if y'all just kind of be sure you raise your hand as I go over your name and this little very brief bio, that makes sure everybody knows who you are. I'm almost certain everybody knows Vanessa Vasquez, who is a financial expert and QuickBooks ProAdvisor, and who has her own firm, Vanessa Vasquez Consulting. And she is our 2023 ProAdvisor of the Year. And then also with us today is Kim No of No Hassle Bookkeeping in Florida. And she is a first-time ProAdvisor joining the 2023 Top 100 list. We also have Beth Whitworth, a CPA. Her firm is Accounting Solutions Group in the St. Louis area. And she's another first-time member of the Top 100 for this year. We have Sherry Radler, also a CPA. Her firm is Our Accounting Group in Prospect, Kentucky. And she is the 2023 Up-n-coming ProAdvisor recipient. And then certainly last but not least is Susan Cook. And Susan is one of our 10-year veterans. She's been on the Top 100 list for every year since we've had it. Her firm is Accountability Consulting, and I think she's in the Connecticut area now. But I remember one time I always thought it was so cute that she lived in Mashpee, Maine. So, Susan, glad to have you with us. Each of our guests are actually going to be telling you a little bit more about themselves and about their firms in just a couple of minutes. But Gary does have the sponsor to plug, and so we'd appreciate if you'd listen to his advertisement about our sponsor today, Avid Exchange.
Hey, we have to pay the bills somehow, right? And so thanks, Murph. And it is sponsored by Avid Exchange. Avid Exchange is a leading provider of accounts payable automation software and payment solutions for middle market businesses and their suppliers. Avid Exchange's software as a service-based end-to-end software and payment platform digitizes and automates the AP workflows for more than 8,800 businesses and has made payments to more than 965,000 supplier customers of its buyers over the past 5 years. Avid Exchange provides a seamless integration with QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online for AP and payment automation, which allows companies to incorporate an easier, faster, and more secure way to process invoices and make payments. So like I said, we do have to pay the bills. And so we're going to post up a poll question here. If you'd like to hear from Avid Exchange, just say yes. Here we go. You should see that poll up here in a second. So again, if you'd like to hear from Avid Exchange, answer yes, or just let us know what your status is there. Can everybody see that poll? Not yet?
Nope.
I think I have, because I have to hit
There it is.
I had to hit the big blue button that says launch poll. That's why that wasn't up there. You have to hit the big blue button. So we'll give that about 20 seconds, 25 seconds, and then we'll keep rolling here. And Murph, I'm going to have to make one edit to what you said. Susan's actually in Mashpee, Massachusetts. She sent me a note saying, hey, I'm in Massachusetts. I'm not in Maine. So there we go. Which that's out on the Cape, right, Susan? Yeah. All right. We'll give this about 5 more seconds. So remember, if you need CPE, you need to participate in the poll questions. I think we have a total of 4, so you might be able to miss one, but hate for you to miss that and not get CPE if you need it. So I'm going to close that out. Get that off my screen. And Murph, I think you want to go ahead and post another poll here right behind that one. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Let's have our first CPE poll.
There we go. One more poll for you and launch button. There we go. So if you have participated in the top 100 ProAdvisor process, how far did you get? If you participated, you know it's a pretty detailed, in-depth process into all about your business, all about you and your business as related to your practice, your ProAdvisor status. So we just want to find out if you participated or not. Murph, and is this one we wanted to share?
I
Lost you, Murph. I think you came unplugged or something.
I said, we can share that. We're not asking any names.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll leave this open for about 5 more seconds.
And Gary, you're going to want to go back a slide and plug the upcoming event.
Future Forum? Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'll do that while we launch these results. And here we go. Murph, you can comment on those if you'd like.
Well, we've got a good number of people who have never participated before. And so that really tells me that you're here to find out what it takes to participate and get beyond just participating and to make it to the list. And so I think you're going to find out a lot today from our panelists. Great.
And then Murph, thanks for the reminder on Future Forward. And that, so we have coming up the end of September. It's basically a 2-day, I don't really like to call it a virtual summit, but that kind of is what it is. It's 2 days of training. It's free, paid for by sponsors. And we have 4 webinars a day. You can sign up for one. You can sign up for them all. It is free, but go ahead and register for it. I'll drop the link into the chat. You can also find the ads for it on Insightful Accountant. We've got a bunch of edit coming up over the next couple of weeks promoting it as well. So last year, I think we had about 700 people register for it. About 500 people attended. So we get great feedback on the content. So we'd love to see you there. And I keep following my script here, so I don't get in trouble with Murph. Get us back online here. Did that. Murph, go ahead. It's all you, bud. Can't hear you.
Okay, we're going to start by asking Kim to tell us a little about herself and her practice and kind of what she specializes in. So, Kim?
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. Hi, my name is Kim No. A little bit about me is I grew up on the Cape, Cape Cod as well. I was born and raised in Plymouth, Mass. Went to high school in Harwich, Mass. And I was a runaway bride. And that's how I ended up in Tampa, Florida. When I arrived in Florida, I was actually working as an accountant using ledger books. Yes, I'm that old. I just aged myself. And then I started using DAC Easy. I was working with a phenomenal accountant by the name of Eric Thatcher, and I thank that man every day. He actually makes me choke up. One day, he came into my office and said he was bored, put his feet up on the desk, and I said, okay, well, I don't know what you want to do, but I'm sure we could find something for you. And then he goes, no, I'm really bored. And he hands me this pile of books and said, this is your company. Here's your company formation. Here's 6 clients. Here's the software. Out front is your brand new computer. And your desk should be arriving at your house in a few hours. I was literally had just found out I was pregnant with my second child. So on January 1st, 1996, No Hassle Bookkeeping became a company. Thanks to Scott Cook, December of 1996, I became a ProAdvisor. In, I think either between 2005 and 2007, when they started the certification program, I became certified. I've kept up that certification all the way through to today on all of the platforms that you can be certified on. So that's pretty much about me. I have a husband, been married 30 years. I have 2 children and 2 grandchildren. No Hassle Bookkeeping supports and empowers companies through knowledge and growth by building solid foundations, brick by brick, to create that hurricane-proof strategies, all while building the stairs to our enduring legacies. Now, our main focus in our industry is specifically construction industries, along with the real estate industries. So in essence, from your landscaper all the way through the HOA. But we like to stay within the small to mid-sized market. And I want to thank you, Gary and Murph, for letting me speak.
That wasn't difficult. Told you. Murph, can't hear you again.
So that's great. And we'll be coming back to you to talk a little about actual top 100 in just a little while. But Sherry, why don't you spend about 4 minutes telling us about yourself and your QuickBooks practice?
Okay. Well, first, thank you. I'm uber excited to be here as the first timer, so thank you very much. I'm Sherry Radler and the founder of Our Accounting, and we are a boutique client accounting services practice focused on providing customized solutions for our clients. We primarily work in the professional services and nonprofit areas. And while I'm based in Louisville, we have team in 5 states and we have clients across the country. So a little bit about us. From the very beginning, I spun out of corporate doing this. So I had spent a career in corporate working with entities, startups growing all the way up to global. So when the concept first came up and Nikki and I were talking about it, the idea was to bring that corporate mindset, framework, process out of the bigger business kind of concepts down to the smaller independent businesses that are often running really good businesses, but as we all know, they're doing bank balance accounting or they don't realize some of the compliance aspects. And working with friends and family, I don't know, it often felt like I was doing the "you're doing it wrong" part. So that started this. For us, we committed to Intuit and the ecosystem really early on. QuickBooks Online was the first certification I got. And just over time, we've incorporated more of the applications into the QBO. Some were Intuit. Some of the apps we were using, Intuit has since acquired. So we are pretty heavily invested in the Intuit world. And I guess a little bit about us, truthfully, we started as a side hustle. We were one of the side hustle businesses about 7 years ago. Started out as a side hustle. I spun out. So we're 4 years into a 5-year plan now. I came over in 19, Nikki spun over in 21. And so for us, this entire journey has been, just a road. The concept came up when I pitched it to Nikki and her husband over dinner one night. If I was to do this crazy thing, would you ever think of joining on? And she said yes and became the number one. She was the number one everything and still is. So no, for us, just being included in this, it's just the journey and the work and the long run. It really feels a little bit of the, we're on the right track kind of mindset. We're doing it right, or we're not doing it totally wrong, at least. But yeah, so that's really about us. Not quite sure how I did on time, but that's who we are.
Oh, hey, Murph, can't hear you.
I said, you've done really well on time. I think we're running ahead of schedule. I'm trying to take up time, but having to say it twice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I talk fast when I'm nervous.
That's all right. So we've heard from a new member of the top 100, and we've heard from our top up-and-comer, and now we want to move over to our 10-year veteran. Susan, I'm just absolutely sure that probably 90% of the audience knows you, but I'd like for you to go ahead and tell us about yourself and your practice. And by the way, I don't think I've ever been to Mashpee, but I have been to Maine, and probably the worst place in Maine, a little old town called Caribou. That's about as far north as you can get and still be in the United States. So,
Yes, thanks, Murph. I'm actually a little south of that. I'm in Massachusetts. So Mashpee, Massachusetts, out on Cape Cod, but we're not too far from Maine. And I want to just thank you for asking me to be on the panel and represent the veteran person of the top 100. I am very honored to be listed amongst any of the people on the top 100 list. And from the very beginning, when Catherine Wynne Jones won, she was like a colleague of mine. I felt we did study buddy together. So back when we were trying to pass the 2008 advanced certification for desktop. So a lot of the girls that have won the top one were people that studied together with me back then. So we've been very much helpful to each other all through these years together. So thank you for letting me represent all of us that have done this together. A little bit about me. I've been married for 42 years to Ralph, a wonderful guy, and he's partner in my business, a lot of helpful background things that he does for us. And he's the entrepreneur that really came up with the idea of starting Accountability. It was a computerized bookkeeping service. We were living out on Nantucket Island in 1987. And we bought a Unix operating system, expensive accounting package that I had to modify for to be multi-company users. And to write a little bit into the COBOL to make it work. But it was a great idea to have computerized bookkeeping back in the day. And when QuickBooks came out in the mid-90s, I was like, I'm going to hide this from my customers because they won't need my infrastructure, expensive software, double entry accounting. They can do it themselves without learning all of that. But eventually I could really see the potential of QuickBooks for every small business person. So I jumped on the bandwagon and brought it into my firm itself. Eventually we had about 100 clients and a team of 6 bookkeepers. That's when my son came along. And so I was very happy about that. I have an only child boy, but I decided to sell the firm in the year 2000 or so. That was so that I could just not be so focused on deadlines that bookkeeping services live by, you know, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly deadlines. I just wanted to enjoy being a mom, which I did. So I sold the practice, but I became a consultant because I could see that these QuickBooks users needed assistance with training and navigation, how to make the best of the software and still how to really understand it and how it worked for their accounting needs. So along came a traveling conference from Doug Sleater in the year 2000. And I took his course in a Boston hotel. It was called QuickBooks Consultant, How to Troubleshoot and Support QuickBooks by Doug Sleater. This is my book from the year 2000. And I still have that as a good memory because that really launched the consulting part and that's what I do today. I do no regular bookkeeping or client accounting, but I do all kinds of training, setup, troubleshooting, data migration, and that's helped me a lot. Joining the ProAdvisor program was a huge help because their training was extremely helpful. And they also gave us that great support line. So I remember going out to one of my first clients as a consultant. I was really shaking, but I had my 888 number on my phone and I did call a friend. You know, I told the client, look, I don't know everything about this. I'm going to phone a friend. And they helped me. I mean, you used to get really good support on that ProAdvisor line in those days. And they helped me to gain the confidence I needed to go out and meet all kinds of new businesses. They also encouraged me through the training that I've had to specialize. So I picked point of sale because there's a lot of gift shops out here on Cape Cod. And so I thought that would be a good fit. And I like shopping. So I said, well, I'll try point of sale. I took Leslie Capicetti's class. I have her book on the shelf back there. She wrote a very sizable point of sale manual. And that gave me the confidence to go out and try installing point of sale, hardware and software, and learning inventory issues with stores all around. And then nationally too, I have lots of stores that I've installed. And I've done some very creative applications with point of sale beyond, gift shops. There's some very interesting things you can do with that. So selling a lot of point of sale led me to be invited into the QuickBooks Solution Provider program. And I've been there since 2009. That has been very educational because they taught me sales training. They taught me more software training, more in-depth training. And it led to me focusing on QuickBooks Enterprise, which was more complex and for larger businesses that have more complex needs like manufacturing and wholesale distribution. And they became my favorites because they were challenging and interesting to learn how things are made and to have to help people write like the bill of materials for what they're making. That's been really fun. I loved one I did in the biotech industry recently that they just make this one machine, but had like a 200-line bill of materials with nested sub-assemblies. We wrote that together with the team. Because we got that all going right, they were able to sell that biotech startup for a lot of money because they now had a nice solid set of financials that they could really share with their investors. So that was fun to be on that ride. I love that. And I just love to now get a lot of QuickBooks Online inquiries through my website. People are interested in learning QuickBooks Online, migrating to QuickBooks Online. So I've done a lot of that. I spend a lot of the week now training people in QuickBooks Online as well. And I just love meeting new clients that have any kind of troubleshooting, training, support, data migration issues, helping them find the right solution and training them fully and supporting them on that. So I probably meet about 80 new clients every year that I assist. So I've now over the years met hundreds and hundreds of businesses. So with kind of like gathering all that knowledge together, carefully listening to their pain points, teaching them what they should be asking, what they should be expecting from their software, helping them to implement and train it in it. That's been really rewarding for me. It's been a rewarding path. And I genuinely care about my clients, not just about numbers, it's really about helping them to align their team, understand the story behind the numbers, and then really going along with them on their journey to success. So.
Thank you, Susan. Beth, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little about yourself and your firm.
Thanks, Murph, and thanks both of you for having me on today. I am very excited as a first timer, I guess. First time I applied, first time I made it. So it's very exciting. I've been in public accounting for 27 years. Coincidentally, I've been married for 27 years. So my poor husband has put up with every tax season I've ever been through. And it's been a challenge. So as a high schooler, I knew that I wanted to be a CPA. I took a bookkeeping class. I fell in love with it. In my senior yearbook, I put down that in 5 years, I was going to be a CPA. And in 10 years, I was going to own my own business. And so I knew then that I think I had some entrepreneurial skills there, or at least dreams, and they turned into reality. But it took a while, and I did accomplish both. I became a CPA, and I started to own my own business. But I went out on my own in 2007. And I did that because in my previous positions, I realized that I wanted to reinvent the public accounting field and to get away from the typical, let's say, all the hours during tax season, you're putting your family on hold, you're putting a lot of client work on hold during a tax season when you're so focused there. And so I knew when I went out on my own that I wanted to reinvent that and to create less hours, more balance, stop turning away the clients that needed work during tax season. I saw so much potential that I was like, we're missing opportunities. But in the firms I was working for, I didn't have the ability to make a change. So I went out on my own and I formed Accounting Solutions Group of St. Louis in 2009. And since that time, we have grown to 7 employees. We are all part-time. We are a full-service public accounting firm. We have no overtime during tax season, and we still take on new clients during tax season, both tax work and cleanup work or accounting work or anything that someone needs, because I realize small business and mid-sized business owners don't have the luxury of being put on hold. And so I really wanted us to build in capacity to be able to support them through that whole journey without saying, hey, yeah, I'll get to you in the summer. So we have actually managed to do that and build close relationships with our clients. I have so many clients that have become friends, and then they in turn refer business to us, and my entire team works on those relationships, and I just love it. Last year actually was the first year that I applied. It was I was diagnosed with breast cancer 1 week before the end of tax season last year. And that threw me for a loop, but it also brought out every single strength that was in my firm. And I realized that I had accomplished more than I thought, because I actually during my treatment, I took at least 8 weeks off, probably, if not more. And most of my clients didn't know I was gone. So my firm was starting to run without me. And that made me realize that maybe I've done something right in this journey. And I finally gotten to that place where maybe, I don't know, that it was kind of a good thing and a bad thing, So it taught me a lot. And so I decided at that point that I was ready to start doing a couple of things. I was going to start scaling and growing my business because it could do that without me. And I was going to stop putting things off that I had been putting off. Things like starting a podcast, which I've done. Things like racing, and with my family, we're members of the Sports Car Club of America, and my husband of 27 years and my daughter, who's just turned 21 this summer, we race all spring and summer long. And I wanted to make sure that became a priority again, to spend time with them. and to travel and to know that I could do all of that and my business continued. So it was part of the goal there was also then to apply for top 100. And it was all because of what could have been a really, really, really bad thing. I feel like it really remotivated me. So it's been a fun year, and we're on a good track, and I've been racing quite a bit.
Well, thank you. And now I come to our ProAdvisor of the Year, Vanessa Vasquez. Now, she is a real talent. I'm just telling you, people, she's a real talent and a perfect role model. And so it's going to be hard for her to only spend 4 minutes, but I'm going to ask her to give us a brief bio of all she does and tell us a little about her firm. So, Vanessa?
Well, thank you so much for having me. First of all, I am thrilled to be here. And after hearing Beth's story, oh my Lord, it is amazing to be surrounded by these women, and you guys are making this possible. Thank you so much. It is an honor, a pleasure to be here representing not only us as ProAdvisors, but also the Latino community, which I work so hard for their growth and their businesses. I have been in business for 18 years now. I started thanks to person that after me training and understanding a little bit about QuickBooks, she was like, here's a QuickBooks. This is a happy birthday. It was a happy birthday QuickBooks. And I started learning and applying and teaching the clients. And then I was able to see there was no training out there for the Spanish speaker community. And I decided to start on that. I'm a homeschooler mom. That's what I do mainly. That is my biggest job. But I do run 3 businesses at a time because I love teaching and training. That is one of my businesses. The other one is specifically accounting and tax practice that I have with my husband. And I have a conference that I put together every year for the Latino community based on everything that has to do with technology, innovation, and finance, teaching all the accountants and tax professionals about what we learn in conferences like Scaling New Heights and QuickBooks Connect and other conferences like Future Forward. So I have the pleasure of learning from all of you guys, all the ProAdvisors, all of our peers, and being able to bring all this knowledge to our Latino community, which it really needs it. We see the growth, and we are part of an economy that is making things happen. I'm Dominican originally, even though now I live in Florida, but the whole idea is to come to this country and make it better. And that is what I truly believe that we're doing. That's why my purpose is to create a living legacy for not only the people that I know, for everybody that I have the pleasure to meet and impact in any way. So I love to be here. I love to be able to represent each and every one of you. And it is an honor. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And Gary, we've got a couple of other polls that we're going to launch as a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And so the first is we want to know what type of ProAdvisor you are. Are you a online ProAdvisor, an advanced online ProAdvisor, a desktop ProAdvisor, or are you certified in both online and desktop, or are you not even a certified ProAdvisor?
And this question actually has 2 parts, so you can just go ahead and I believe you should be able to answer both parts. Yep, people are doing that.
And the second part is we want to know how long you've been a ProAdvisor: less than a year, 2 to 5 years, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, or more than 15 years.
We'll keep this open for about 10 more seconds just to be mindful of time.
Yeah, we're running about 2 minutes behind. So if
who talked too much? Who was it?
me,
I'm sure we'll be just fine. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. 3, 2, and 1, and then I'll share the results.
Okay, so the vast majority of you are certified actually in both QBO and QBD. And that's quite a bit different than the people who make up the majority of our top 100 applicants this year. Was about 60% QBOers and about 40% QBDers. So, and it seems that the average length of time is somewhere between 10 and 15 years. So that's
It's interesting that 34% are under 5 years. Find that pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great. All right, we're going to roll over now. Beth, you're back in the hot seat. So, as you had mentioned, first time going through the process, and as I said when we first started out, and as everybody on this call knows, it's a pretty in-depth round of questions that you have to go through, and really have to kind of change your attitude, I think, and your expectations about this, because it's not one and done, right? There are lots of parts and pieces. So kind of what was most surprising to you about that when you went into it?
Honestly, the first thing was that prior to this year, you had to do it all in one sitting. I was so thankful that there was a save and return function, because once I got into it, it was a lot. It was a lot of in-depth questions and things that I wasn't sure, that some of it even applied to me. And I had no idea what to expect going into it. I'll admit that I didn't go back and see kind of what the criteria and things were until after I had found out that I made it. And I went back and read Murph's articles and was like, oh, okay. So I just started answering everything, and it was very, very in-depth. But thank you for being able to go back and like save my work and not have to do it all at once. And it was very it was in depth, I will tell you. But I just answered everything honestly, and some of the things I felt like maybe I didn't score well there. I did, because I didn't really know, but it was good. It was a good in-depth application process.
And well, it's funny, I'll have to plug one of the top 100 sponsors. Actually, Zoho is the survey tool that we use, and we use Zoho One, which is amazing what all comes in Zoho One, but that survey tool is theirs, and we were pretty happy when we saw that it did have that capability, as well as a lot of other capabilities that Murph had wanted. So we were glad to be able to bring that. So in looking back, what do you think, what areas of that list or through that process, where did you think you excelled the most that kind of got you into the list?
There was a lot of questions that related to certifications and trainings, and that one of the core values of my firm, and even for me personally, is to value learning. And so I've always been one of those people that is always, I got the certification every year. I'm on that more than 15-year list from that poll you just did, that I've been a ProAdvisor for more than 15 years. I'm certified in both QBO and QB Desktop. I did the QB Desktop Advanced back in the day when they had that particular certification, as well as Enterprise. And I had my team is actually certified. So I make sure that my team is ProAdvisors, and we support both QBO and QB Desktop, probably about 50-50. And that is probably could be a little different than other firms, but I grew up on desktop. And so, and then I embraced QBO when it became the new norm, where everybody was going. And so I think maybe that those certifications and the trainings, and having that much history with being a ProAdvisor, that may have helped move me along in the process.
Yeah. Murph, what do you think?
So I'll just mention that, you're a perfect example of a balanced ProAdvisor. The fact that your practice is essentially 50-50 desktop and online, you scored really well in categories that are in measures that work in both those categories, but you excelled really in your training and certification and practice performance as it relates to the desktop category. And that's what actually drove you into the top 100. So, Gary?
Thank you.
All right. All right, Sherry, we're going to bounce over to you now. So as we mentioned, you're, first time or the first up-and-comer, ProAdvisor list that we've done. But you made it all the way to the top, so to speak. And so in your opinion, what do you think in terms of your training, certification, overall practice may have gotten you to that top of that up-and-coming list?
Okay. So, I mean, not only am I honored to be part of it, truthfully, no one was more surprised than I to be named the top one. I mean, just because it was the first time, no one expects to show up the first time and become part of this. As mentioned earlier, we're kind of 4 years into a 5-year plan. And like Beth, submitted at encouragement of a colleague, a friend of ours, that really was, you really should be doing this. So it was like, okay, getting into it. It was a pretty deep dive into questions made you think, didn't it? Have to go look and things like that. We're more of a 90-10, 80-20 on the QuickBooks Online heavy. We do support some desktop. But for us I don't know what sets us apart. I think there's a few things. First of all, we're continuous learners. Not just me, but our entire team. In fact, prior to 2015, I'd probably only worked on QuickBooks Desktop very lightly when I was helping a friend type of thing. I came off SAP and Great Plains and things like that. So when this idea first, became a concept of that this is an industry that needs us. There's people out here that really need what we can offer. Diving into the trainings was core. And I mean, and truthfully, so many of the people that are on the top 100 list this year, they're not just names. They were our mentors. They were our teachers. Veronica Wasix, the 5MB Academy, Hector's webinars, Royal Wise, Bookkeeping Side Hustle. There are so many people on that list that are giving you trainings and education. We showed up to every Intuit seminar that was out there, which got us meeting so many more. So we felt like we got to meet and learn from people that were industry leaders. And that was really core to us, and that just dovetailed onto any place that granted a certification. We went for it. I mean, if there's a HubDoc certification and we're using HubDoc, we need to do it. QuickBooks. I'm advanced certified in QuickBooks. Our entire team is certified. Most are advanced, and our goal of this year is that anyone that hasn't hit their advanced certification will be it this year. So that's just a new bar that we've set in the firm, the next tier to set us apart. So that is a big part of it. And truthfully, while I am a CPA and a CMA, it is the understanding of the tools we use that really is, I think what helps us better serve our clients. May have come in with some legacy information, but if we can't utilize the tools and navigate what we're using, we're not, this is how we can help us. Again,
So-
we really believe in being personalized. We're beyond crunching the numbers. We understand that it's the decisions being made on the floor in real life that are impacting these operations. So we really, we partner with our clients and discuss with them these decisions they're making or where they're trying to go or what they're trying to do, because letting them just run and go do it. And then, well, hey, looking at your numbers, that was not a bad idea. We don't want to be after the fact accountants here. We really work to invest in our clients' financial success and information.
So Sherry, let me let me interject here.
Okay.
I think this is probably one of the categories, and even though we expanded this year to a new list for up-and-comers, it still uses the same principles that we have for the last or preceding 9 years in terms of how we measure an up-and-comer. And folks, it's one of the most difficult measures that we perform, because what you're trying to do is determine the individual who is the best qualified in the least amount of time. It's just the opposite of every other category where tenure in terms of length of time expands their point characteristics. In this case, tenure is a bad thing. And there's actually a magical point at which you have too much tenure to be on the up-and-coming list. So it's how much you get accomplished, how qualified, how certified, how your practice dynamics has grown in a very short period of time that gets you in the up-and-comers. And so, Gary, I think we need to move on.
All right. Were you going to take this one, Murph?
I can, sure. I think we're to asking Susan, about what you think has kept you on the list for 10 years.
Well, I really do have a passion for excellence, and I'm a competitive person. Mostly I'm competing with myself. I want to be always in the next better version of myself, the best that I can be. And I think that's really too because I have a love for business and entrepreneurship. I enjoy meeting entrepreneurs. I feel like my clients deserve my best effort. And because of that, that motivates me to keep up with these certifications. Starting in 2006, I was certified when they first allowed that. In 2008, and as I mentioned, I took that very difficult Advanced Desktop certification. I got all my little books for that one bound in little Kinkos, and still have all my books from 2008. One of them was called Extending QuickBooks Functionality Through Integrations. And now that's like a focus of what I do, is helping integrate apps into QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop. So really keep on learning, keep on taking those certifications. They can launch you into an interest or a field that helps you to meet new challenges, gain confidence that you can do it, and keep on taking those training. I love the training. I think the training is excellent in the certification. Just all the ProAdvisor program training, Scaling New Heights, Woodard trainings are excellent. The Future Forward Virtual Summit is excellent. All of these kind of things, keep reading and learning, but learn with a purpose. The purpose is to bring something better to your clients. So when we go to these conferences, I bring my clients in my mind. Oh, this would be good for this one or that one. I ask questions on behalf of my clients. It brings solutions to them. Then I'm going to bring them home, introduce them. I get certified in a lot of those apps too, and resell them, get on their reseller program if that's practical for my clients and for myself, and make it a win-win so that they benefit, I benefit, and then as a result, you have a network of colleagues that are fellow ProAdvisors, other solution providers, developers who write great software apps, and friends that can help you all the way through to partner and be the best, bring the best you can to your clients. So
I think you hit on something else that a lot of people don't really understand. This is not a competition between ProAdvisors. This is, excuse me, this is a competition that measures ProAdvisors against a standard. And so it just happens that Susan is exemplary in meeting that standard, and she has consistently been, over the last 10 years, in the upper 15% of all of the pro advisors who have gone through this process and been measured against that same standard.
All right, Kimberly, I've got a question for you. So you're a double first timer, as Murph has put it here. So what do you think drove your ability to get into the list?
I had to think about this one a little bit. I can tell you, I'm app crazy. So if there's an app out there, I want to learn about it. I want to know about it. If you can be certified in it, I want to be certified in it. If there's a training course available, I want to take that training course. I want to know everything that I can. I want to suck it up like a sponge. That's my biggest thing. I've been doing it for a long, long time. I've been certified literally since they started it. I've been advanced certified since they started the advanced. I know it's sad. I know Zoho One. I know a few other softwares that are not even used in this day and age, but again, apps. But I think what really put me here is the fact that I ride the magic carpet through networking. And how I do that is through a platform called Alignable. I don't use the L word ever. I can't even tell you the last time I logged into the L. I eat, sleep, and breathe Alignable. 69% of my revenue came from Alignable last year. I'm very proud of that. It's a lot to accomplish, but it was so simple and so easy, and I got to just be myself. My favorite part about my day is for 15 minutes every morning, I get to log in and sprinkle a little bit of sunshine on somebody that might not be having a very good day. And that's really, really important. Alignable's mission is you align yourself with those you know, like, and trust. The best way to do that is to join their groups. And I was blessed to be asked to not just lead one group, but I lead 3. One of them is called QuickBooks Users Ask and Learn. I've grown that group in less than a year to over 16,000 members. Another one is the QuickBooks ProAdvisor group, in which I started it in tax season, don't know why, and that we have just under 4,000 members. And then while I was at Scaling New Heights, again, don't know why, I formed another group called Accountants, Bookkeepers, and Solutions. And that word solutions is the biggest feature. What we do is we do events where we're doing Smart Connects, meeting people one-on-one. I'm talking to apps, I'm talking to developers, I'm talking to my peers, the people I look up to that I used to walk up to covered in sweat, afraid to introduce myself and ask them, do you mind talking to me? Well, now I'm saying, you know what? I have this great platform, a great group of people, and I think they would benefit from you. Can you give me 60 minutes of your time? I can put you in front of 20,000 people. Can you help me? And they always say yes, or, you know, I can get with you in 60, 90 days. But it's that person that you touch. You know, it only takes one person to grow a business, one person. That's it, one. It can also take one person to destroy a business. But as long as you're sprinkling that sunshine, you're doing it, you're touching people. And it's not just the businesses that we want, it's the people that we want to be aligned with, those we know, like, and trust. And that is so important. So I think that's truly what got me there, because I don't think enough people knew my name before this, but I can definitely tell you through Alignable, there's a lot of people that know my name. And if I can get Joe Woodard and Ron Baker to come on Alignable and speak for me and do an event, I think I achieved something. So being in the top 100 list was amazing, and I'm so blessed that I'm there. But I'm blessed every single day that I get to wake up and know that I get to work among some beautiful people.
And I'll just say that Kim really just told us what it means to be a QuickBooks evangelist. Folks, a lot of people check that box every year on their application, and then they start telling us how many times they've chitty-chatted on Facebook or LinkedIn about QuickBooks. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the hours and hours that you spend developing media content that's meaningful in the areas of accounting and bookkeeping and consulting, and that you present that on your own blog or podcast or other social platform, not just chitty-chatting about QuickBooks. And so it really does make a difference if that's going to be one of your focuses, that you do it right. And Kim's the perfect example of what it takes to earn a ranking in social. Now I'm going to ask Vanessa to tell us a little about, being ProAdvisor of the year, not just top 100, but the best of the best. As I put it, the best in show.
Well, for me, this recognition, this prestigious, this remarkable recognition that I have received, it means that if we put the effort, if we innovate, if we give our best every day, as one of you was saying, I wake up every morning saying, who am I going to impact? Who am I going to change? Who am I going to be able to be a breather? I could bring a solution. I love apps. I love innovating. I love understanding where technology is taking us. And I love learning it, but also implementing it for me and implementing it in my business and being able to bring it to other people. I love learning it and implementing it, but also teaching it to other people, teaching it to accountants and tax professionals and businesses that really need it, that maybe they have their own accounting department in their businesses. There are bigger businesses than what we normally deal with, but they need the training and going there and going the extra mile. And it's what you're saying, that is not the chit-chatting. It is having a podcast. It is having a program. It is having a conference. I put together a complete conference just to teach. Not only we take like a whole day just on QuickBooks, but we take time to show people about apps and about technology and about finance and where the innovation is going. We understand what it is to work with solutions and bring them in, and understanding what are the solutions are trying to do. It's not just put a little diamond and then say, oh, this is beautiful and this is what is going to make your life possible, but how is making it possible and how it reduces time for us to be away from our family or away from the things that we really want to do. And it really fills me up every morning, understanding where we're going and teaching even my girls. I have a 13-year-old that is a genius, and I have a 10-year-old that is all artistic. And she says, my autistic one says, oh, but why do you love numbers and why do you love technology so much? And I'm like, because it makes things possible. It makes people understand life in a very different way than what it would be without technology, and understanding what each of those technologies are made for, but also writing about it and making, because people learn in different ways, right? And what Susan was saying, that she has all these different manuals. Yes, because people understand in different ways and people learn in different ways. So just bringing that value to each and every one of those accountants and tax professionals and bookkeepers and businesses out there, it really makes a difference. And also impacting them and teaching them how everything that we do, they can do it as well. I always tell them, if I was able to do it back in 2020, I won the top apologist. And it was a huge year for me. Gary was there when my husband, proposed to me to get married with him. And also it was 2 seconds before I have won the apologist. And I was like, this is the year. And I thought that was the greatest thing could ever happen to me. And then it just winning this award and making sure that our Latino community is recognized in this way, it really brings me a lot of joy, because I know that if I was able to do it, there is no exception. Everybody that is great and is doing things the right way, it will be able to do it, and it will be able to make it to where Susan is, where Kim and with Beth and with Sherry and I am right now. So understanding that doing the things right and taking the time, I took a lot, like a whole week to prepare for this, to apply, because before, as you said, Beth, it was like you need to sit down and go through the process. And now I was able to save and go and check all the articles that I have posted and all the teaching that I have done on CPA Academy and all the things that I have done. And I'm like, okay, I need to process all this information. But it is great that we were able to go through the process in a different way than what we used to do it before. So thank you.
I'm going to come back in just a minute, but Gary, I think we need to open that last poll because people may need to leave and yet they need that poll for CPE.
Yep, here we go.
We just want to know, folks, if you plan to participate in our, should say 2024.
Okay. That one's on me. I didn't have anybody proofreading my stuff.
So we want to know if you're going to participate in our upcoming year. And of course, Vanessa doesn't ever have to complete another one of those applications ever again because she immediately becomes an emeritus. I'll just say that, folks, a lot of you showed us earlier that you haven't participated before. And so you're just starting your quest, and you can't have a better role model than Vanessa. And so, it comes down to the process where we have categorical winners, and when we crunch the final numbers, she clearly was the best of the best. We are running short on time, and so I want to remind everybody that I'm writing a series every Tuesday that talks about this process, all the various qualifications and all the various standards we apply, and we certainly encourage you to read all that before you actually start the process. And I think with that, we need to probably try to wrap it up. And I'm going to let you do that, Gary.
All right. Well, we will just need to go ahead and close it out. So if we want to go round robin real quick, 30 seconds, Sherry, what any parting words of wisdom?
Show up. You're not counted if you don't show up.
Hey, I like it. Vanessa, what do you got?
Apply and be your best. Every day, be your best.
Very nice. How about it, Susan?
Be an avid learner and fill in that application. You'll learn a lot about yourself in the process.
Yeah, and about and on that, 55% said they plan to, 45% said they don't plan to. So I'd encourage those 45% jump in. Can't, like you said, can't win it if you're not in it. How about it, Kimberly?
Mine's quick and easy. You're successful, you're confident, you're powerful, you're strong, you're getting better and better every day. All you need is within you right now. You woke up motivated today and you're an unstoppable force of nature. So I will see you in 2024 on the top 100 list.
Here we go. Wow, that's a big one. All right. And Beth, you get the final word. I'm kind of stalling a little bit here because somebody asked for the link to the Future Forward and I'm trying to find it. So, but Beth, you got the last one and then we're going to wrap it up.
I'm going to say, don't let the fear of failure hold you back. What's the worst thing that can happen if you apply?
Exactly. And nobody will know. It's not like we make a list and says, hey, you didn't make it. So that's actually a great point. And if you didn't get from this, there's a diverse background of businesses that are represented just on this panel, diverse background of the amount of time they've been in the space. We added the up and coming list this year because we did find, and we had feedback, people saying, well, if I haven't been in the business for 15 years, I'm never going to make the list. So we added that up and coming list to give people the opportunity to really to start being recognized a little bit earlier in the path of their business. So we do certainly want to encourage you to participate. Keep up with what Murph is writing. As he mentioned, he's writing this ongoing series about looking out to 2024 and about the top 100. Sorry, we're going to wrap it up. I couldn't get that that link, but just go out to the website. You'll see an ad that pops up, or just search Future Forward 2023, I guess is what it's called, and you should be able to find that. But if you go to Insightful Accountant, or if you're receiving our newsletter, you'll certainly get information about it. So everybody, thank you to our panelists. Thanks for joining us today. And thanks to everybody who took an hour and 10 minutes out of their time just to join us. We appreciate you all. Thank you.